rock up in a park and light some stuff on fire, you know? 35 degrees every day and I wanted to die. And their little bells jumping around, I just think it's so funny. The Queen is a cute old lady and I feel like she's my grandma, and I'm sorry, I can't help the way I feel. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, I'm Yvette and I moved to the UK 3 years ago. And for today's video, I thought it'd be super fun to do a quick best bits of British life from A to Z, because British people say Z. I think Australian people are supposed to say Z, but I've been indoctrinated with American TV, so I just want to say Z. I have some, there are some builders, so just apologies if you hear anything. The best bit, maybe I could do worst after this. If I do the, I'll do the best, then I'll do the worst British things, A to Z. But first, we'll start positive. We'll go with the best. So the best thing starting with A is ANOB, is that how we say it? Areas of natural beauty. They're basically national parks if you're from the US or Australia, just a big part of protected land, and they are in fact areas of natural beauty, beauty that is natural. What can I say? The best bit. B is biscuits. Now we can all get into the specifics of which biscuit is best. I'm partial to a bourbon. Bourbon? Bourbon. No, it's bourbon, right? Or just a simple digestive. I'm a simple woman, love a digestive. So could have put that for D, but we didn't. We put it for B, for biscuit. Best British thing starting with C is comedians. You know I love British comedy. British panel shows are by far the best. They are just amazing. Nothing funnier than give me David Mitchell, give me Peep Show, give me Would I Lie to You. I've literally just named 3 David Mitchell shows. Richard Ayoade, Jimmy Carr, Russell Howard, Rob Beckett. Who else is there? I'm sure there's so many more. But yes, best thing starting with D is dog. Dog friendly, in fact. So the UK overall is such a dog friendly place. I feel like I can take my dog basically anywhere. I even found in Kent there's this big outlet. I don't remember what it's called, but it's like a designer outlet. And everywhere let my dog in, and I was like, is this the dream? Shopping in like Hugo Boss with my dog? Like what else is there? Best thing starting with E is Europe. Controversial one, but regardless of Brexiting, in the continent of Europe, and that means I can travel to Europe relatively easily. Not as easy as pre-Brexit, but still so much easier than Australia, so I enjoy being so adjacent to mainland Europe. Best British thing starting with F is food. It's actually a good thing that I went veggie before I moved to the UK, because I genuinely think I would have maybe died of scurvy because I don't eat vegetables, and all British food doesn't, like traditional British food doesn't have vegetables. But I am also spoilt because I'm in London, which means I can get basically any food from any continent all the time, because London is so multicultural. So the food being everywhere's food. Best British thing starting with G is Guy Fawkes Night. Guy Fawkes Night is obviously British only holiday. I enjoy it. I just think it's so fun and so low-key. Like sometimes, as great as Christmas it's a lot of stress, there's a lot of preamble. Guy Fawkes Night is just like rock up in a park and light some stuff on fire, you know? That's my kind of holiday. I read a thing that was like saying how Guy Fawkes Night is the #1 way to tell like whether you live in like a conservative or liberal area is how they teach Guy Fawkes Night. Because if you're in a conservative area, Guy Fawkes was seen as a villain. But if you're from a liberal area, Guy Fawkes is seen as a hero. So it's a good litmus test, I thought, which is funny. Best British thing starting with H, as my friend would say. He hates that I say H. H is high tea. Or technically they call them afternoon tea, but I always called them high tea. I love a high tea. It's all very fancy. I took my mom to an exorbitantly expensive one at the Savoy for Christmas. That was Bambi trying to catch a fly. But yes, high teas are fun. They always give you so much food, you get so full and you think, I haven't even eaten anything, and next thing you know, you've eaten a cake. So very fun, 10 out of 10. I'm gonna make it a tradition that whenever I have my parents or Daniel's parents come, I'm gonna take them to a high tea. The best thing starting with I, we're starting to get to weirder letters. I've put, this is probably the most controversial to be fair. I've put British ivy, and what that is ivy that is British, but it's ivy. As in the plant. So I like a vine so much, and I love a vine on a building, and it always seems to be the British ivy. So best British thing starting with I is ivy. So yeah, I love a wall of a house covered in greenery. It's just so pretty. So ivory. Also, it's I is hard. Tell me if you come with anything better in the comments. Best thing starting with J is the Jubilee weekend. Who doesn't love a 4-day weekend? I'm filming this just after, so the whole spectacular has happened, but it was so fun. And you know, the Queen's old. Not shocking. I think what's so special is like, she's obviously the longest reigning monarch, but we'll never have a party like that again because of how healthcare has gone, and like, you know, it would be very rare to have someone in office that long. In office, is that what she's called? I don't know, in charge. So it just felt really special to be able to have like a once in a lifetime party, because no one's gonna have 70-year reign ever again, because Charles is old, and even if it went straight to Will, he wouldn't be able to beat it. So all very exciting. I got to see everyone come together, all the concert, everything it was just great. Also loved the days off, really loved that bit. That was probably my favorite bit, if I'm honest. My favorite thing starting with K. This is maybe a bit of a weird one. King Henry the 8th. King Henry the 8th and his 6 wives. I just think British culture like froths on King Henry the 8th, you know? He was obviously a big deal. Just, you know, invented divorce, separated from the church, you know. There's a great show called The Six, on West End, which is about the 6 wives and gives them a story. I live relatively close to Hampton Court Palace, which is exciting. So I just like living near him. So it's honestly probably my proximity to the palace that makes me feel important, which is why he's on this list. But I think he's interesting. It's probably the one I know most about, so he had to go on the list. Best British thing starting with L. Not gonna be popular with this one, but London. Because I live there. I'm sorry. But like, surely you would think the best thing about wherever you live is where you live. So it's healthy, because if I didn't, that would be bad. If I didn't think that was the case, that would be bad. But London's got everything. It's got so much things to do. It's got beautiful weather. It's so hot today, oh my god. There's a heat wave. Well, there will have been a heat wave by the time you're watching this. Warm weather, history, culture, food, as we said. It's got it all. Love it, love London. Best British thing starting with M is Morris dancing. Now I know this is a bit of a joke, but I've never seen it before until my friend explained it to me, and I saw it in my village. One of the many random holidays they celebrate is also Morris dancing, and it's just funny to me. They're cutest little old men in their little bells jumping around. I just think it's so funny. I haven't seen Morris dancing. I suggest you YouTube it because it'll change your life. And it's the most quintessentially British thing, so I couldn't not put it on. Best British thing starting with N. Say it with me, the NHS. Obviously it has its faults, but at the end of the day, it's an institution that needs to be protected, and we need to vote for people who will give it more money. I swear we're meant to get some money from Brexit. Wasn't it on a bus or something? But still waiting. Regardless, the NHS is amazing. Hashtag clap for the NHS. Best British thing starting with O is how old everything is. I come from a country that's not even 100 years old. So there are, in fact, most pubs in the UK are older than my country. And I'm talking in terms of like a federation. Obviously the Aboriginal people have been there longer. You know what I'm saying. Australia has only existed for 100 years or 120 years. So I love being able to walk around and think, who else has seen this? Who else has walked these paths? Being able to walk the same route as, you know, Mary Queen of Scots, or even like the Beatles, you know, more modern. It's just crazy. If the Beatles were definitely around when Australia was. You get me. Speaking of old pubs, best British thing starting with P had to be pubs. You know, it's my favourite thing. There's just something quaint about a pub. And do you know what else is great about pubs? Add it to my list of reasons pubs are great. I could put A to Z best British pubs, to be honest. Pub in winter, so cozy. Put the fire on. Christmas tree if it's Christmas. Snuggle up. Have some hearty food. Pub in summer, in the garden, with a pint, under the sun, also with some nice food. Just like, when are they not great? Best British thing starting with Q. I think you can all figure this one out. It's gonna be the Queen, particularly when she gives us bank holidays. Whee! I do think the Queen's cute. Obviously, she's, you know, there will probably be some anti-monarchs, and that's completely legit. Some of them, looking at you, Andrew, do not deserve respect. But the Queen is a cute old lady and I feel like she's my grandma, and I'm sorry, I can't help the way I feel. Best British thing starting with R. Now I've put royalty, and I don't necessarily mean the royal family right now, I mean the history of royals. So I've already put on here the Queen, and I've put King Henry. I think it's just great having a royal history, and like, even if the monarchy was abolished tomorrow, being able to have all these palaces around that you could have as like museums, I think would be very cool. And just having that history is interesting to me. So I'm putting it there as like a massive umbrella, just as a general statement. I grew up with Disney princesses. It's been indoctrinated into me. I'm sorry, I like a crown. It's shiny. I'm basically a magpie. Best British thing starting with S is Scotland. I love Scotland. My sister-in-law lives in Scotland, so I've got ties to Scotland. My blue eyes make me from Scotland. It's my heritage. My maiden name was Taylor. That is a Scottish clan. I am linked to Scotland at my core, and also it's just a beautiful place. I love Edinburgh specifically. I've been to a lot of Scotland. Edinburgh's still my favourite. It's just beautiful. I love the accents, I love the people, I love the architecture. Honestly, the food could improve, if I'm honest, but it is what it is. Best British thing that starts with T is tea cakes, the biscuity thing. I've been giving that to everyone in my family and friends because I think I've never had it before, and it's like marshmallow but not too sweet. If you haven't had it for whatever reason, I recommend. It's like my favourite texture. You need to know what my favourite texture was? It's a tea cake. Best British thing starting with U. It's you guys! Probably it is actually. Well, I wrote underground and now I just thought of that then, and now it seems awkward. I wrote the underground, but you are great. You are probably the best British thing to me. But the underground's pretty good too. But yeah, the underground's just so well connected. I'm from Sydney, and Sydney has the worst transport of any city ever. I really value being able to get about on the underground and how well connected everything in the UK is. Best British thing starting with V is villages. Villages aren't a thing in Australia, but villages here, particularly if you get a good one, very cute, very quaint. I like to go into Surrey Hills, and there's like one called, is it Sheer? I think it's S-H-E-R-E. And it's just like the cutest little village with like Tudor buildings and like cute little candy, oh my god, am I American? Cute little sweet stores, fudge shops, high tea areas, and then they have another good one is Rye, which I think is West Sussex or East Sussex, one of the Sussexes. Also beautiful little chocolate box towns. I love a good village. Also village Christmas market. Favorite British thing starting with W. I think we all know what it is. The weather. Flippin' love the weather. Have I ever made a video without talking about the weather? Don't think so. I love the weather. It's currently 20 something degrees, and it's been 20 something degrees for the past 2 weeks, and that's my favorite weather. I went to Avignon. I didn't film it. It was just a family holiday, so it wasn't particularly interesting. But I went to Avignon for family, and it was 35 degrees every day, and I wanted to die. Suffocating. And then I just like came back to London and was like, oh my god, the weather where I live is so great. It's like the perfect mix. Honestly, can't improve it. Best British thing starting with X is Xmas. I actually don't normally call it Xmas, but we're gonna be real. Christmas in the UK is by far the best part of Christmas ever. I've never had a cold Christmas. I obviously talk about how much I love Christmas markets, Christmas roasts, Christmas trees, cutting them down, the whole thing, having a fresh tree, the lights, the festivals, the pantos, all of it. British Christmas is just by far the best part. Definitely the best thing starting with X at least. Like that's such an easy competition, and Christmas is just not even in the same league. Best British thing starting with Y is me. Oh, I'm not British yet. No, it is Yorkshire's. It's a Yorkshire pudding. I love Yorkshire puddings. I will literally just like order a roast, eat the Yorkshire pudding with gravy and give the rest to Daniel. That's literally my MO. So Yorkshires are my favourite part of a roast. What can I say? And lastly, my favourite thing starting with Z. I'll be honest, this one was the one that I couldn't come up with. So I have either Zoella, because she invented YouTube, I guess, or Zayn Malik. We don't have a lot to choose from. I'll let you decide on that one. But if not, you tell me in the comments what your favourite thing starting with Z is. And yeah, and we'll just choose yours. I'll let you decide. But that's all for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoy it. Make sure you, tell me in the comments below, do you agree with me? Are there things that are better than B for biscuits? What do you think? Tell me your A to Z of best British things. Give it a thumbs up. If you guys like this one, I'll do the worst British things, A to Z. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Remember to hit subscribe so I can see you next time.